Yesterday was Sunday, so we went out for a skate. I've got an electric skateboard which I bought with some money I saved up over the last couple of years because it's a big surfing area around here. There are some amazing waves to catch, but everyone's got the same idea, which is I'm going to get into surfing, so the waves are overcrowded, and that shit is fucking scary, and particularly scary to me because the idea of trying to negotiate with people, the waiver situation out there, I don't see it happening for me because, well, I was trepidatious to begin with, but now I know I'm autistic, and I think, well, of course, the idea is overwhelming to me. I shouldn't even fucking try that shit. So I bought an electric skateboard to get my surfing vibes, happening. Because real surfing's not happening. So a thing that's happened since learning I'm autistic is that when people want to have a conversation with me, which, it happens all the time because I'm always doing just fascinating, interesting stuff. I'm just an amazing, perhaps even wonderful human being, and people will say, "What's that?" And I will say, "That's an electric skateboard." And I can have these conversations with people now explaining how the electric skateboard works and why I chose the electric skateboard experience for myself. I can talk about this stuff now with people, and I can talk about the art I make that's in my yard. People walk past and they see the art I'm making in the yard and they ask, "What's that?" And I can tell them, I can talk to them because I know I'm autistic. So what I've done is I've stopped overcompensating, which is what I've done my whole life in conversation, which has made conversation a fucking nightmare for me. And to think that all of this was kicked off while I was out in the yard making art. I was listening to a podcast. I was listening to Blind Boy from the Rubber Bandits. I was listening to Blind Boy's podcast, and he was talking about his diagnosis in his late 30s, autism, and then he talked about his life, and he went on at some length about his life, and it was absolutely uncanny. I It resonated with me. I walked inside. I said to my partner, who she's an ADHDer. We are the Bass Coast's most noise sensitive power couple. Yeah, I'm noise sensitive. Noises traumatize me. In Joe's case, the noises make it hard for her to concentrate. So we love our noise cancelling headphones and wear them a lot. Anyway, a guy, blind boy, who wears a plastic bag on his head, a guy with a plastic bag on his head, told me I was autistic, and now I have an electric skateboard and people ask me about it and I tell them about my electric skateboard, and I'm not overcompensating. I'm not afraid of the conversation. I'm not trying to get the conversation to a point where we can sort of wrap it up and I can escape, because I'm not afraid of what's going to happen with the conversation. The thing of not overcompensating is huge. Not trying to say anything particularly clever, not trying to dazzle anyone with my verbal fucking abilities, not trying to, impress with my observations, to not trying to demonstrate my keen fucking insight. None of this fucking bullshit. just talking like a fucking normal person, but autistically. Because the whole time I'm having the conversation, I'm sort of observing myself, and it's a big deal for me. It's very exciting to. It's a big. I'm observing myself, and I'm saying, "Yes, good one. Yes, that's it. Oh, very good. No, you're doing really well. Oh no, good for you. No, good for you, mate. This is yes, that well done. Good. You're listening, and you're replying. Your words make sense. This is really lovely stuff, Sean. Keep doing it. Well done, Shawnee. It's good to be in this headspace, of not self recrimination, not walking away from every single interaction with another human being, just fucking devastated that yet again I've made a cock out of myself, that I have behaved like a wanker. People used to say to me, "Oh, you think too much and you're too hard on yourself." Well, all that was about was I've been paddling furiously for a long time. There've been wheels just spinning manically in my head for a very long time while I try to I I don't even know what I was trying to do. How could I have known? I was an autistic person who didn't realize. That's all fucking great news. That's fantastic for me, and I love sharing it. What I'm doing now is I'm starting to get involved with, or immerse myself in, or pay attention to online discussions about autism by autistic people, and like every other community I've been part of, it is awash in with drama, and it just people having very strong opinions based on their version of reality of and then people with different views of how reality should be just going at each other. The other day I was reading a discussion in a Facebook group for autistic people, and I read quite a long exchange between two people accusing each other of bullying each other, both of them equally playing the victim of bullying, and I couldn't tell you who was actually being bullied or doing bullying. What I could see was two people who definitely thought they were being bullied. They said so, and it was very strange. But this is no different from any other community I've been involved in. The world of comedy, the world of activism. I've encountered, in those worlds, in those scenes, in those communities, people who just seem to have a gift for feeling attacked, which I absolutely, I, I think I expected it. I knew that I was interested in that. I knew that if I'm interested in building some kind of autism advocacy role for myself through my video work, that I would have to sit down and do a lot of potentially quite draining reading of what people are saying to each other and have been saying to each other. For example, there are arguments about a symbol to represent autistic people. Of course, people hate various symbols. There are various symbols. There's sort of like an infinity symbol that's a rainbow. There's a puzzle. There's variations on a puzzle piece. There's uh, colors like blue and gold and red, and there are fights about which one is the best color. And there are people who will tell you also that these arguments have been had and the issues have been settled. Um, I I sort of don't care. It reminds me of when me and Tom Tanuki came up with yelling at racist dogs, and people, a very tiny minority of people, but enough to annoy us, hit us with feedback that they love dogs. The dogs are wonderful, and this would terribly annoy Tom and I. Why are you talking as if we are literally attacking fucking dogs? So now I'm in a world where people take things literally, but this is the right now. This is the thing about autism is that there's lots of different kinds of autistic people, lots of different ways to be autistic. I mean, whatever it is you are, as far as I can tell, you're stuck with it. Uh, Yesterday, I learned something amazing. I posted on Twitter that one of the last things my father did at the Catholic school he was sent to was he punched out one of the brothers. And a woman replied to me and said, "My father did the same thing." And I thought, "Wow, that's amazing. Who is this person?" And I looked her up, and it turns out she's a circus person, and what she has set up at, I think, some pretty great personal cost. It's working. It's unreal. It's circus training for autistic kids, and that is kids who, you know, have been or have probably felt pretty locked into a pretty small, narrow, limited lifestyle or life, and kids who were not particularly open to physical activity and interaction with others have blossomed into amazing circus performers who can do incredible acrobatic things. And this woman had to go back to university and study to get this show on the road, and had to do it against all sorts of discouragement and even contempt, I think. People weren't interested in her idea that autistic kids could benefit greatly from getting involved in circus training. When I was a kid, I did karate for a couple of years, and apparently I changed quite a bit in that time. I calmed down and I was more chilled. I was more cool. I've experienced that. That's another reason why I seek out activities and and have currently have graduated to this electric skateboard thing, because there's this thing called interoception, which I don't quite understand. I have to learn a lot about it. But so it's sort of a disconnection with what's going on in your body. It's forgetting to eat, forgetting to drink, forgetting to sleep, forget, um, even things like realizing, oh my God, I have to go and have a shit right now. Uh, Autistic people can have all sorts of physical um, issues, and this interoception thing, I've got to look into it more, but it's about not being really connected in your body, and I guess not connected with being here, being present, being in the room, being where I am. Uh, Something like skating solves that problem. It gives me the experience of being completely here. So currently, what I do is I will do something physical. It might even just be jogging, but something to get me 100% into my body, and then I will make a video. Um, and my ideas are flowing much better. I'm confident. I feel good about what I'm doing. And, here we are. Normally I would set up lights. I would set up a proper camera, proper lights, proper camera, proper microphone. But I was sitting here looking at all of this drama online, people arguing about symbols and being really hated about it. And I just wanted to sort of catch the idea while it's fresh. Um, I guess the takeaway, I think the main thing is, online absolutely it gives people an opportunity to just dig in and demonize others. Now, I'm a hater. I'm a hater. I fucking judge people and I love doing it. But that's not the be all and end all. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is that an indicator has just come up on this laptop saying that the battery is low and that this laptop is going to fucking shut down. And there's like that is such a break in my concentration that there's no possible fucking way for me to continue. Cool.